All right, now we're looking at the counter bore. The counter bore is really very similar to the hollow. We're going to copy this top view and copy this front view, and then once we get these two views directly the same as what is on the paper, we will pull that 45-degree angle line off to shoot lines over and down, transferring the features from your top to your right side. So when we look at this piece, the biggest circle is a 2-inch diameter. What this area right there says is that it is a one inch drilled hole. That means the smallest hole is 1 inch. Then it says it's a 1.5 inch counter bore, which what a counter bore is this piece down here is a counter bore. So that circle is a 1.5, and it's down 1/4 of an inch. So we will talk about that when we get to that point. I'm going to start off by drawing the top view. So we got a 2 inch, a 1 inch, and a 1.5 inch circle to draw. D enter, 2 enter. D enter, 1.5 enter. D enter, 1 enter. So I got those 3. From center point to center point it is 2 3/4, 2 3/8, 2 3/8. So I'm going to draw a line from my center point over 2 3/8. I've got a 3/4 inch diameter and a 5/8 radius circle. So a 5/8 radius and a 3/4 inch diameter. For those two circles. Now I need to connect the two. In order to connect the two, I'm going to right click on my O-snap at the bottom, go to my settings and make sure my quadrant and my tangent are on, and they are. I'm going to draw a line from my quadrant to my tangent, back to my tangent. What that's going to do is it's going to create this type of a line. I'm going to delete the inside one out of there now. Draw a line again from my quadrant to my tangent, back to my tangent. Zoom in on it, erase that inside one out. So the drawing itself, I got to trim out the inside circle here, and then we'll start on our front view. So I'm going to go modify trim. So my top view is now completed. In order to do my front view, just going to start pulling down every quadrant here. Every feature gets pulled down. And then to start off that front view, I can just draw a line across. So that's going to be the bottom of my piece. Then when I look at it, it tells me it's 7/8 of an inch tall and it's 3/8 of an inch tall. So with that said, I will go modify offset, 7/8, and I'll repeat my offset at 3/8. There. Now we got a little bit of mass confusion looking down there. Just got to think about what you're seeing. I'm going to go modify trim first off. Let's get the overall shape of my piece. All right, we know that from this big quadrant of the circle down is going to be the outside of the circle, so I can actually erase those out of there. We're starting to get our shape of the piece. I could probably move this one over to there for now. So now we got to put our counterbore looking piece over there, and that counterbore looking piece is this piece right here. We know that the hole goes down 1/4 of an inch because of what it says right here on the blue. So it goes 1/4 of an inch down. So I'm going to offset this one down 1/4, and I already have all my other lines over there to be able to draw it. So I'm going to modify offset. Down 1/4. And now I can start trimming. What do you see? You got to see the counterbore. There's one side of it. There's the other side of it. Now I got my counterbore and I've got my hidden lines there for the hole. The last thing I need is what I call the butt crack. This area right here is the butt crack. So how do I show that? I represent it by intersecting that point down. Really all I'm going to do is run this point over to it and then erasing that one back out. So that is my butt crack. I also got to highlight these two areas here, turn them to red because they are hidden lines. And do I have I do have a hidden line loaded already, but if I don't, I have to go to Other, Load, find the word hidden. Do not use anything up there. Find the word hidden, which is here. Choose one of the hidden ones. Doesn't make a difference which one. Select them again, and I will change them to a hidden line also. So they are now red and hidden. So now we've got our top and our front view done, which is basically copying exactly what we did here. Now we got to get our right side view. In order to get that right side view, I want to go from the hypothetical upper right hand corner of the piece, which is there. Angle 45. And I'm going to transfer that top quadrant over and down. Bottom quadrant over and down. Top one over. Middle one over. And the bottom one over. Just transferring all the horizontal pieces. Right now I'm going to go modify trim. Got my overall size of my box on there. Now the last thing I got to transfer over my stuff for this counterbore. So what I really want to do is, I can zoom in on a little bit, I'm going to copy this piece. That quadrant is where that piece starts at. Well, since this piece is rectangular, that quadrant is really this quadrant. So if I shoot that quadrant over and down, here's what I just did. That point is that point, is that point, is that point transferred around. So in other words, this point and this point are the exact same thing. So I can go modify copy. It says what do I want to copy? I'm going to select my entire counterbore. It says what else do I want to copy? There is nothing I want to copy, so I'm going to right click. My base point is the same point that we started with, that point there. Where do I want to go to? I want to go to this point. So I just copied that counterbore piece around, and now I can delete out these pieces. One thing left to finish the drawing is the inside circle here. Over and down. That inside circle is going to be a hidden line. And also, if you look, this piece is only that tall. So nothing can be above this line. So I've got to modify trim. So they're going to be below that line. And also, I do have to pull over this quadrant, over and down. And this quadrant over and down. Same thing, I can't have those lines any higher than what it actually is, 3/8 of an inch. So 7 out of the 10 points is now complete. We need to dimension the drawing. Alright, to dimension this drawing, we've got to look at the piece, and again, if you just have all these dimensions that are on the original part on yours, you'll be good to go. I'm going to go dimension a diameter. Choosing this one over here out. I'm going to dimension the inside diameter. So there's my 2, my 1.5. Dimension this inside one there as well. So there's my 3 circles. I'm going to dimension the diameter of the inside circle here. And now to do this last arc, I cannot do a diameter. I have to do a dimension, a radius. Just like that one come out. So now I've got all my circles dimensioned. If I dimension from center point to center point, pull it down. The last thing I got to do is show me how tall the piece is. In this particular example, there's not going to be an overall width measurement. There's just going to be the center point to center point and the circle diameters on there. The overall width of it is obviously a diameter too. So if I put one here, that'd be over dimensioning. That'd be 2 inches and all that stuff. So there's only actually one more dimension I need, and that's the 1/4 inch coming down. Now I'm going to grab that one and pull it up. That drawing, counter bore, is now complete.